Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Now, on the previous episode, we had Angela, which is a Sarawak MM2H specialist, and she shared so many insights on how you should apply, what you should do. You should definitely go and check that video out. Why Malaysia?
Process that's been coming a long time for me. Asia's been my place that I've wanted to explore in depth.
From the time you started to apply or contacted Angela until you got the approval last week.
Yeah, the process might be like, say for instance, if you were even able to do it yourself, you have to do it through an agent, right?
Mm-hmm. That was the biggest problem in terms of coming to Malaysia?
Well, it wasn't about coming to Malaysia as such as it was completing the process.
Okay, I have to let you in on a little secret. Now today I have an approved applicant, right, for the Sarawak MM2H program. Rodney, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Naz.
I heard you just got your Sarawak MM2H visa approved.
Correct. I got it on Wednesday. What are we today? Saturday, so it's brand new.
Brand new. So did you just came back from Sarawak?
Yeah, literally I finished the end of the process. I didn't have to do what I did, but I went straight away to Kuching again. Okay. And got the stamp in the passport, and we're ready to go.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this episode, Rodney is going to share with us some of his insights and his stories. So if you guys have any questions, do put them down in the comments below. Maybe Rodney will help to answer some of them as well.
Yep.
And throughout the video, we'll put the QR code as well. So if you guys want to get in touch with Angela, if you guys have any questions for her, or if you guys want to apply, you can just scan the QR code and go ahead with that. Now, Rodney, first of all, why Malaysia?
So it's a process that's been coming a long time for me. Asia's been my place that I've wanted to explore in depth. I've been here on and off since 2023, so I know a fair bit about this place. Mm-hmm. Indonesia was another place that I did consider at one point, so I've been there a fair bit as well. But Malaysia definitely felt like something that was how do you say, you can explore the Asian side of things as in depth as you want to go, but it's also quite Western, right? Okay. So it's not a full jump, right? It's pretty good. It suits me, and it's something I'm used to.
All right, okay. So now there's like the national MM2H, and there's the Sarawak MM2H, right? So what made you lean towards the Sarawak MM2H?
Yeah, sure. So originally I did a lot of research on, even digital nomad visa, right? Yes. So that's the first thing I found online. So I did all my research online. Then I looked at MM2H, and I kind of felt like for my personal circumstances, MM2H was too much of a commitment, right? Because I haven't lived in Malaysia yet, right? Okay. So for me to then go and put in that financial commitment plus the property and all that stuff, I just thought I can do it, but it's not really where I'm at, right? Yeah. And then I found out about SMM2H, and it wasn't until I came here on a tourist visa that I explored that, and then I went to Kuching and had a look and was happy with what I saw there.
Okay.
And then, like, to me financially and the way that where I'm at in my life right now, it matched what I needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. So where were you from, actually?
So I'm from Australia, from Perth.
So you lived there your whole life?
Most of it.
So
yeah.
Enough of Australia, Malaysia is the way to go.
With what I need and where I'm at in my life right now, I'm able to move if I need to and if I want to. So this was an opportunity for me to put in a commitment that made me feel, secure, right? Like I feel what SMM2H gives me enough of a bite into something that I can then make some plans, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to do that at what I thought for me wasn't going to blow me apart. Right?
Yes, especially with the property purchase, you didn't have to do that.
Correct, right? Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the only reason why I didn't choose MM2H, but I think, it was just best suited for me right now. It doesn't have as much locked away in either capital or in a bank account. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what's your plans? What's your next plan? Are you gonna move back to Sarawak and then stay there? Are you planning to travel across Asia?
So I do travel a fair bit. But for me, Sarawak is obviously a place that I want to explore a lot more.
Okay.
There's actually quite a bit going on there at the moment, right? So, when I was there, before I actually started this process, I had no idea about Kuching. So until I got there, I thought Kuching was, a lot smaller than it actually is. 600,000 people there. To me, looks like there's a fair bit going on at the moment. There's a fair bit of construction even this week. Having a look, there's cranes everywhere, and it's a busy place. Right?
Okay.
So that changed my initial opinion of what SMM2H might offer, right? But I needed to go there first and see that.
Okay, I have to let you in on a little secret. I've been in Malaysia for like 30 plus years, and I've never been to Kuching.
Never been there. Yeah.
Sarawak or Sabah. Maybe I should. Maybe we should. Once you're there, let me know. We'll come down.
Have a look.
Have a look, yes.
Yeah. Look, what I'll say is that the people in Sarawak are, you could easily say it's a more chilled environment, but I don't think that does them justice, right? Like there's enough going on there.
Okay.
So
how's the lifestyle there like? What's the day-to-day life like?
Well, compared to KL, they're a lot friendlier.
Oh, right? Really?
Yeah, and that's not having a go at KL, but KL's just a big city, right?
Okay.
So I think any big city in the world is going to have that mentality where people are more, keep to themselves, right?
Yes.
But even last week when I was walking down the street in Kuching, people will say hello, not because they want to sell you something, just because they're friendly, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you put the work in, it's quite easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys should check out Sarawak. Apparently, it's the most friendly or more friendlier than KL. I did not know that.
And the economy is much better, right?
Okay, let's talk about the food. How's the food in Sarawak?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've always been there with the locals, so I think I've been spoiled a bit, getting taken around by people who've lived there. So
okay.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. But I mean, it's the same as it's as good as KL, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe the people want to know about your application process, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like from the time you started to contact Angela, yes, Angela was the one who handled his entire application. From the time you started to apply or contacted Angela until you got the approval last week or this week, right? How was the process like? How was it difficult? Maybe you can share some insights to some people, do's and don'ts maybe.
Sure. So caveat to all of that, the first thing I need to explain is that what I feel the process might be like, say for instance, if you were even able to do it yourself, you have to do it through an agent, right? But Angela, her team made it just seamless, right? And for someone like me, when I like to leverage that stuff out and put trust in people and allow them to, I get out of the way, right? So that they can, I just give them what they need, and then magically let the process happen, right? And that's exactly how it happened, start to finish.
Okay.
For me with her. So I remember I did my research online, so I kind of knew that SMM2H was what I wanted to have a look at, right? I contacted you, in fact, because my initial fear, not being in Malaysia at that time, was, I don't know about these agents. How is this whole thing policed? Is it policed at all? What's the system? Is it trustworthy? Can I put my money into something that, I'm not going to get scammed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So I reached out to you and you said, look, here's a list of agents, whatever. And so I contacted Angela, and just for the record, there is an actual official list, right, of agencies. But once I contacted her, she said, okay, well, this is what we need. These are the documents. And then you need to come over to Kuching to do the medical exam and the bank account and health insurance. And
that's the pre-submission.
Yeah. Like it took 2 days.
2 days. Okay.
Yeah. And so I flew to Kuching. We did it in 2 days. Everything was planned for minute to minute. I literally turned up with my passport there. All of the documents were already done.
Oh, really? So Angela handled everything?
Everything. Yeah. Okay. Like to the plan. I didn't have to plan anything. I just literally got on a plane, and then when I arrived at the airport, I had my own driver, and then he took me around the entire time. And then the next day we went and did all of the medicals and the lawyer and the bank account. Done.
That's it.
And then I left Kuching after 2 days, and then that process was enough to go through. We also had the police clearance, which I sorted out from Australia directly.
Yes, the police clearance. Okay. So then how long after that was like the things approved? Any additional documents was needed? Anything else?
I don't think anything else was needed. There was nothing else that there was no surprises.
Okay.
Basically, like
that's forward.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of when I did my research and when I was talking to Angela initially, that's what I realized was this system for me personally, I can't say for everyone else, but for me it was straightforward, right? Here's my bank account statements. You can see that I clearly,
have the funds.
Yeah, I can manage this, right?
Yeah.
And then when we went to the hospital and did the all of the tests, I think we were out of there in 90 minutes, right?
Oh, wow.
Like you could never do that in Australia ever, right? That would have taken days to get through that process.
Okay.
So that was cool. It was pretty easy. Yeah.
So how long after that did you get approved?
87 days.
87 days.
Yep.
From start of submission until approval was 87 days.
Yeah, from the time we lodged. So the first time I went to Kuching was in September, right?
Okay.
And then literally Angela had bundled up all of the documents and she'd done everything in that application by the time I got on the plane.
Okay.
Right? To leave the first time to get out, right? And so she lodged that day, and then it was 87 days from then until I got my approval letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 87 days. So any advice you have for someone who is planning to apply for Sarawak MM2H or something they should know about?
I mean, the main thing for me, for advice to people would just be, understand why you're applying, right?
Okay.
Like, because I think from someone who's gone through it, the reasons why you would have MM2H on the West Coast or on the East Coast are totally different, right? And it's not just about a financial thing. I don't think that's a stand-up argument. Okay. So for me, it was just so that I could have certainty, right? So I can come in and out of Malaysia for my 60 months initially, and then if I choose to go another 60 months, I will. And that gives me certainty, and then I can start planning, right? I can plan my life, because if I'm here on a 90-day tourist visa, I can't do that.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Now I have a bank account. I've got my phone number. I've got everything that I need, right, to just blend into society and get things done, right? So that was the main thing for me. I think the advice is just basically make sure that whatever type of visa you go for suits you, right? Like I would advise, don't go for a visa that's going to stretch you financially, right?
Yeah,
like leave some buffer in there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's just normal logic, really.
That's true. All right. So if you guys want to know more about some visas, you can download the free Malaysian visa cheat sheet, or you can get the guide as well. Link is in the description. That was the biggest problem in terms of coming to Malaysia, or in terms of coming to Malaysia, right?
Well, it wasn't about coming to Malaysia as such as it was completing the process.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't matter where I was.
It's just
yeah, exactly. Wise, right? Right, because you need to transfer money. Okay, so I got my Wise account shut for 6 days.
Okay.
Just because of money laundering.
Okay.
Right? So people need to understand that it depends on how you're going to do your transfers, right? But just be aware that sometimes that process, you might want to do that process early, right? So because I had my bank account from the time September 11 when I was there first time, right? So I trickled funds in months in advance. Okay. So and when I originally did that, there was I came up against all of these anti-money laundering laws, right? Not laws, the system itself, like transferring out of bank accounts into Wise, and then having Wise ask me all the questions under the sun, which they need to do.
Okay.
Right? That all costs time. So if you're time constrained, or if you're trying to hit some sort of a target, you need to understand that you need to allow buffer in there for those systems to take place. Because once you start transferring large amounts of money, it will kick in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be the biggest problem that you faced before you came to Malaysia, whether it's regarding the process or not?
I'm not really sure if I had any major challenges. I think because for me, I had reasons why I wanted to be, to come and give Malaysia a go, right? So I think I had resolved all of those before I decided what I wanted to do in terms of a visa, right? I didn't look at the visa and then try and figure out how am I going to place myself within it, right? I first figured out how am I going to place myself within Malaysia, right? What now applies.
Yes, correct.
Right? Correct. Because I could have gone digital nomad if I wanted to, right? But I chose not to.
Yeah, that's only going to give you 2 years.
Yeah, whatever it is. I didn't do a lot of research on that. Now I've memorized everything else. But yeah, for sure. But like I think that's the point. Is like, try and fit into, like, don't fit into. Make sure you're doing something for yourself first, right?
Yeah, correct.
And if it fits, then it fits. If it doesn't fit, maybe it's not the right choice.
True. Okay. So if you guys have any questions for Rodney or for myself, just place them down in the comments below and we will try our best to answer you guys. And if you guys are interested in getting in touch with Angela for your MM2H needs, or you guys want to see if Sarawak MM2H is for you, you can just scan this QR code here and fill out the form and Angela will get in touch with you. All right. Thank you so much, Rodney, for joining us today.
Thanks,
have fun in Sarawak, and when I'm down, I will let you know.
Absolutely.
We'll probably go for lunch then.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you guys. See you guys in the next episode.